Better late than never. I think I've used that expression quite a bit, actually. Welcome to another reading. If you missed the service this morning, it was Reverend Arthur Johnson, and I promised people the week before when I did my readings from my phone, in other words, the announcements, that nobody would go to sleep in the room with Reverend Arthur speaking. Well, one person did actually manage to nod off for a while, but how, I don't know, because he's alive, he has the audience clapping, joining in. It's a really vibrant experience. So if you missed it, go to our Facebook page, our YouTube page, it's all on there. So go for it. It's really worth watching, I can promise you. Today's daily guides, I'm going to be quick because it's late, and we just spent about 3 hours with our family, which is kind of cool. 2 grandsons and their parents, and one of the grandsons' girlfriends. Apologize, I'm getting a little bit. I'm trying to line things up here, so I apologize for hesitating. The daily guide for today is written by Reverend Dr. John Waterhouse. He wrote these guides for December of 2018, and he quotes from Mahatma Gandhi right at the beginning, saying, "The weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong." And as I said, that was Mahatma Gandhi. And what about Reverend John himself? Well, my iPad is not behaving here. Well, I've known of him for quite a while because he's been in prominent positions in Centers for Spiritual Living. He's very well educated. He has a PhD, and he's got a Doctor of Divinity from the Holmes Institute. And he's a leader in the New Thought movement, of course, you know. He served as president of Centers for Spiritual Living. The first time when the 2 organizations joined together again, there was United Church Religious Science, and there was RSI, Religious Science International, that had split off years ago and then came back again. And in 2012 to 2016, he served as the first president of the new United Group again. And his main center is up in Asheville, North Carolina, which he founded along with his wife, Barbara, who unfortunately passed away. I think it was last year. So, and he also has got lots of different things going on. He goes out teaching. He teaches in the business world now. He teaches New Thought principles in the business world. So he's got really good pedigree. You want to reach him? cslasheville.org, johnbwaterhouse.com. john@johnbwaterhouse.com is his email. So pretty easy to get a hold of. John B. Waterhouse, just like it sounds. John B. Waterhouse. So what's he got to tell us for today? Well, here we are. First quote is from Jonathan Lockwood Huie. I think it's Huie, H-U-I-E. You pronounce it as you wish. What is he? He's an author of self-awareness books. He's a lover of life, and he's been called philosopher of happiness. And his vision is joyful living for all through conscious choice. And he has published inspirational thoughts and encouraging quotes. He does that every day, and he's also got lots of other stuff going on. So his name is H-W-I-E, Jonathan Lockwood, and then H-U-I-E. So look him up. He says, "Forgive others, not because they deserve forgiveness, but because you deserve peace. Forgive others, not because they deserve forgiveness, but because you deserve peace. Forgiveness is unconditional, or it is not forgiveness at all." Ernest Holmes, Words That Heal Today, page 98. I'm going to come back to this in a minute. Forgiveness is unconditional, or it is not forgiveness at all. I'm going to come back to it. And this is Reverend John. Being able to forgive is a crucial element in every healthy relationship. No matter how compatible 2 people may be, there will be times when one partner acts in ways that go against the other's desires and expectations. It's not realistic to hold that any 2 people will always be in sync, meeting one another's every expectation. When a partner or a close friend violates the other's expectations, what results is a breach of trust. The loss of trust can pose a serious threat to any relationship. The struggle that ensues can initiate a downward spiral, which can lead to the demise of the relationship. Because we all make missteps, being able to work through such problems is essential to maintaining any healthy relationship. Essentially, forgiveness requires letting go of hurt feelings, releasing any sense of wrongdoing, and focusing on re-establishing intimacy and connection, which are at the foundation of every healthy, intimate relationship. To free ourselves from the burden of distrust, both partners must be sincerely willing to forgive themselves and one another, change their behavior, and focus on the value of their loving and meaningful relationship. When this happens, a relationship can stand the test of time and overcome human frailties. Well, obviously, he's speaking here directly about relationship between two individuals, whether it be partners, like marriage partners, or it could also be people who know each other real well and got a great, strong relationship. But we can also extrapolate this out to other people. It doesn't have to limit itself, at least in terms of forgiveness, to just forgiving a partner, whether it's a relationship partner of any sort, whether it's a business relationship, or it's an intimate relationship, or just a friendship relationship. It really doesn't matter. So his whole point here is about keep your relationships vibrant. I want to move it out a little bit more, because to me, relationship, especially in this context, goes beyond that. It can mean forgiving people who've really hurt us. And there's one thing to remember. The closest relationship that you will ever have with anybody is with yourself. That's right. The closest relationship you'll ever have is with yourself. And although Reverend John doesn't mention it, the hardest person to forgive often is ourselves. So we have to start here. We have to start forgiving ourselves before we can forgive anybody else. It's just the way life works. So we give ourselves first, and then we forgive other people. And when you forgive someone, especially if it's not in an intimate relationship, when you forgive someone, it doesn't mean that you've got to stay friends with that person. You know, if you had a friend and something serious happened and they did something horrible, there is a difference between forgiving them and staying friends with them. You don't have to stay friends with people who have hurt you and are still liable to hurt you, but you can forgive them in the sense that you can let go of any feelings that you have that are negative towards that person. And as I said, it doesn't mean to say you got to be friends with them. It doesn't mean to say you got to like them. Not at all. It doesn't mean to say that you can condone what they've done. But what it means is that you can let go of any feelings that you have that are negative towards that person. And there is a difference. And sometimes forgiving others requires you to reach out for outside help, either to a minister, a practitioner, a therapist of some sort. Sometimes you just have to do that. And if that's what you have to do, that's what you have to do. So I think the most important thing to look at is forgive yourself. My relationships are reflections of my consciousness. I made that the first affirmation. He gave one big long affirmation. I split it out. I'm committed to keeping my relationships healthy and whole. I'm committed to keeping my relationships healthy and whole. So it's short because it's late and I've still got some work to do. I'll be back tomorrow at 5-ish, hopefully. Yes, I should be. And Reverend Lisa will be on tomorrow morning. She's been coming on about, I've noticed, 9:25, 9:30 these days. I teased her about it this morning at the service because theoretically she comes on at 9. I come on at 5 p.m., 9 a.m., 5 p.m. But she's been coming on, 9:25-ish recently, 9:30-ish. Okay, so as I said, I teased her about it this morning. But just a reminder, if you missed Reverend Arthur's talk, go have a look at it. It's worth watching. It's different. You know, we're all different. Every one of us who gets to speak at Creative Life Spiritual Center is different. And we all have a different way of expressing things. So please check it out. Reverend Lisa will be back tomorrow morning. As I said, about 9 o'clock. I'll be back around about 5, as I mentioned. And until then, please take care of yourselves. The weather is starting to cool down a little bit. Hopefully we get some rain in the next week, which will be kind of good. All the plants will be really grateful for it. So until tomorrow, till next time, namaste.